Well, we're doing over the Squier uh, HSS, and we're replacing the old tuners, okay, with the new type of tuners. But the Fender have the slotted, have the hole in them. I thought that you could just replace these. They're a totally different size, so you got to drill it out. I just finished drilling it out with a big drill, with a couple of different size drills, and stepped it up, and I still can't quite get up to the size that I need to be. All right, so I'm reaming out a little bit here with a hand reamer to make the holes just big enough to accept the new fender piece that's going to go in. So that fits now on that side, and I'll have to ream out the other side to get the other piece that goes the other side. I don't know what you call it, so that that'll fit on the back side, on the front side, I mean, to hide the edge. So not all Fender stuff is the same. We'll be back with more adventure. We're back here again. We're still hand reaming this guy to make it fit. The new improved Fender tuners. Now the other thing is that, which is really funny, I thought you would just line up the screw holes, but these screw holes are exactly opposite the way that they are on the old ones, which is kind of amazing. They didn't even do that the same, which I find is absolutely incredible. So I'm going to have to re-drill some of the screw holes to accept the new tuners. So that's one part. So that one fits, that one now fits, that one's the correct size, all on this side, and these all fit good. So the tuners will go in there very well. From this side, I'll take a little bit more bite out of here. That was the first one they did, and I was kind of bashful. Now that should fit fine. Okay, so then the next thing we've got to do is flip the guitar over. You can't see anything. Sorry. I'm going to flip the guitar over and do the other side stuff. So let's pull this up. Let's take another crank of these guys so it'll fit easy. Okay. Now that should fit good. All right, that fits good. Now I got to flip it over. Flip the guitar and get onto this side. Now there's a few hair of the dog deals here. Got a few cracks. Not cracks, so where the wood kind of split a little bit coming off. Just got to clean that up some. Right here on this side. So what we got to do is bring this side out just a little bit to accept the grommet into the hole. You don't want it to fit loose. You want to have to pound it in when you put it in. Okay? So there's one. And then these come through from the other side and fit up into the hole. So they work together to line it up and make it the right fit in the right place. So what we do is take a little mallet and give it a tap and drive it in. That isn't quite going in the way I would like for it to, so we'll take it out again and bring that hole just a little bit bigger. The way I got these out was just to tap them out with a hammer and the backside of a drill bit. Well, you can see that. So I gotta ream that hole open a little bit further. get that one to fit. There. It should. Oops, that's the wrong side. I don't want it to go on that side. That's the back. Oh, it's coming under the stove. That one rolled under the stove, so I'm going to have to dig that out. What I'm still doing here is reaming to make these fit. I picked that up off the floor, dug it out from under the, and that's almost ready to go. You want it to be tight enough so that you got to press it in, but not so loose that it falls out on its own, because it's just a pressed fit that holds it in there. And it's just a matter of reaming these out just a little bit by hand. You can throw the drill in and wiggle it around, but you kind of lose control. I'm sure it's better to drill it out to exactly the correct size, but I don't have exactly the correct size drill. And Fender doesn't do anything to give you much direction. They send you the part, there's no instruction on it. You're just supposed to know the diameter by looking at it, I guess. Or I guess it's a common thing amongst real luthiers that they know. I'm not a real luthier. I only play one on TV. So, I put a bag under here to collect all the wood chips so they don't fly all over the floor and make a big mess. And I won't have to listen to you know who about being messy. See how these are coming. So that's the long and the short of it. Oh, that's working good. Those are going to fit just right. That one's probably a little bit too big, so I don't want to be overly aggressive here. Getting a little too enthusiastic in my reaming. One more ream. That's going to fit good. That's going to fit good. Now just tap that down with a hammer and get these all in line. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is, whoops, keep this over where it belongs. And I just want to get this stuff off of here. The edge. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. What a mess. What a stupid thing to do. Alright, so let's clean up that fretboard. I got gunk from the sandpaper on the headstock. Pretty dumb. Let's try a little lighter fluid. Ronson lighter fluid for cleaning. Don't smoke when you do this. That looks good. Alright, so we'll use a little lighter fluid, clean it all up. We'll start screwing around with it. We'll get the parts we need and just put them in. Okay? So here's the first one. I'll just show you how we do this. If you can see okay. I'm going to lay that right there. Take a mallet. These are kind of a buff finish. If they were real shiny, I'd put something over the top, but they're not. They're kind of rustic. I don't know why. It's just the way Fender did it. And with Fender, you don't question Fender. They do what they're doing because that's what they do. Fender, get out of my way. It's going down a little tough, but it's going down. It's going in good. Let's be sure we can get the tuner up through it and down to the board. It looks like it's working fine. So that's what it'll look like on the other side. Put the screws in and mount them all. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to shake you up. But we'll be back in a minute. Let me get that. All right, we're back again. You can see we got all 6 of them placed. I just tapped them in with a mallet. Went pretty good, not too bad. Does no damage at all to these things. So we got that part done. Now the next thing we're going to have to do, which I wasn't expecting at all. I thought I was going to be able to just take the old tuners out and drop the new tuners in. That was the plan. But because the screw holes for the new tuners are opposite what the old ones were, I'm going to have to re-drill everything. Stupid. Incredibly stupid, because I wanted these new tuners. What are you going to do? When you think you're smart, and you're not smart, you're just average. I'm average. I just want to drop that down tight. Okay. So that's one of the tuners, and that fits fine. And then there'll be another one that'll drop down right beside it. And you got to line up the bodies of the tuners because they line up exactly for each other. You know, side by side. You can't go over one. If you don't put it in right, it don't lay down right. So I guess we're going to have to put them all in first, and then, I don't know if you can see that, push it in, press it down, and make sure it's lined up and dropped in place, and then I'll have to drill out the new holes. Kind of exciting. And they're not quite fitting right either. I don't know if you can see. Whoops, I had my finger in the way. The metal is a little overlapping. This is very disturbing. Very disturbing. And this is genuine Fender. What is the label? Genuine Fender parts made in Taiwan. Genuine. Genuine. What does it say, genuine? Right there. Genuine Fender parts made by people who don't really care, evidently. So we'll have to work out that little issue and see if I can get them all in and lined up all right. I'll be back. So we're back. So what I have to do, these aren't fitting quite right. You got to have a little bit of wiggle room. The front pieces, these pieces fit fine. What I got to do is ream out the back side here just a little bit more so that these are just a little bit loose in here, and then you got wiggle room to be able to get them to fit together because they fit perfectly together. There's no space in between, so they have to line up just exactly right. And if they don't line up just right, the metal will override and they'll never sit quite right. So the way I think to fix that is to make sure there's just a little bit of wiggle room. There's just a little bit loose here. That way you can adjust a little bit for it. It can't be snug. It can't be totally snug. There's got to be some room for the tuner to move around a little bit, to sort of float into position. So that's what we're going to do, is just stretch this out a little bit and make a little bit more space in these last 4 holes. Top 2 are okay. They would go around up in there. Because I made them a little bit bigger, they're a little bit looser. So we'll try this again. And before I put the pieces back on the other side, we'll lay these guys down the hole and see how they fit. Because I should be able to fit them all together perfectly. Especially without the other side in. That needs a little bit more of a kick. Let's empty the bag before we defeat our purpose. The purpose of the bag is to catch the shavings. I drop the shavings all over the floor, and I've defeated my purpose. How we doing? You got a view? You can see my hand, huh? So actually all I'm doing is spinning and turning. You can see some chips falling off the bottom. That's a good sign. That means we're creating a little bit more room here. This reamer cost about $4 at Walmart. It's worth every penny of it. It saved me in a couple of places, especially if you don't have exactly the right size and you need to make a little bit more room. The reamer works great. It's a tapered reamer. The top ones fit pretty easy. That's nice. It just drops right in. That's what I want them to do. Then they can wiggle together easy. Perfectly. See how that works? It works great if they got a little bit of room to wiggle. They can fall in perfectly together. So this is going to be a simple job of just swapping out the tunas. Not even close. Not even close to a simple job. It's going to be nice when it's done, but it ain't going to be simple when it's done. It's going to be a pain in the neck, which is what it is. All right, so we got those guys loose now. What I'm going to do is flip again and put the other pieces back in. Now I've already pressed these in once, so they should fit in fairly easy this time because they're already to size. So we'll just slam dunk these guys in, and then we'll give them a little love tap just to hold them and make sure they're seated well. And I'm going to try not to clobber that string tree with my hammer. All right, so here we go, a little tap tap. Another one on the floor. At least it didn't go under the stove. The last time it fell, went under the stove. We had to dig it out with a pencil. Pain in the neck. But, so those are all in, seated well. Now let's go back to the flip side once again and see if we can line up the tunas more easily this time. All right, that's all flush down to the wood. You got to get them flush. And they got to have a little bit of rocking room so they can line up next to each other. Boom-pada, boom-pada, boom-pada. This is going much better now. So when I go to drill the new holes, I'll have all these guys seated. I'll start at one end and put one screw in each one and then move on to the next one. Alright, so those look like they're all going to seat cooperatively because there's a little bit of wiggle room for all of them. So I'm going to go to fresh wood, find a place where there's a, because some of these, I don't know if you can see or not, the hole is already covering. Some of these, see here, the hole is sticking through where it's going through. See, like here, I don't want to do that. I want to drill into fresh wood like there, and like here, this one. Not where these places are already peaking. We'll use them later to tighten up. So, we'll be back in a minute with the drill. We'll get ready to drill. Okay, so now we got this thing all done. We got the new tuners in. We're putting the new strings on, and I'll show you how these string winders work. So instead of having to sticking it through a hole, you just stick it straight down through the middle, and you can bend it down and give it a single wrap to kind of get it started. And you can start over the top and then catch it underneath and spin it under on its way around. And then you're going to put it under the tree and catch that. And if I haven't smashed the dickens out of that. So then there's no piece hanging out. Nothing. It's smooth. 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 Smooth right around. There's no string sticking out. You just put it through instead of sticking it through a hole. Pretty cute. We'll finish it up, tune it up, and play it up. I'm measuring these. You go from where you're going to go to about two and a half pieces, 2.5, 1, 2.5 about, and then cut the wire. Crazy, huh? You cut the wire, and then like I said, you stick it in the hole, and you see, we'll stick it in the hole, we'll take a half wrap around the top, then go around the bottom, get the winder, start winding her in, reeling her in like a big tuna, keeping pressure downward until you start to get it down around where the tree, oops, get under the string tree, and then into the correct loop. All right, and then we got one more to go. This one I squiggled up. This ought to be interesting. So we're going to that one, and we're going to go 2.5 over. And we're going to nip it in the bud. Here we go again. So we're going down through the hole, wrap it, spin, 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 spin a few times till it starts to get good and tight. Then make sure you're doing the underside. And we'll get under the string tree. We'll hit it with the speed wrap. See, I got a wrinkle in the string. I've never done this before. I was passing it up through the thing, up through the other end, and I got stuck. And ended up winding around itself. So that's kind of funny. We'll see what that does to the life of the string. I have no idea. Put it under a little tension, and it's straight again. A miracle. So then we've got the last high E string to go. Throw it on there, throw it under. We'll imagine we're 2.5 out, and then we'll cut it. We'll see what these bullet Fender strings sound like on a bullet Strat. Should be the right string for the right guitar. What did I do? Can't find the hole. There we go. We're down the hole. We're going down. We're going to bend it, wrap it around, make sure we're underneath on the bottom. I think this saves a little bit of time on the winder, but I don't know. We'll see what we're doing here. Am I still on the screen? Yeah. Do this. Oh, I pulled it right out because I was pulling it straight up. What a dope. I think this is the hardest string to wind. This little teeny skinny one. It always gives me the most trouble. See what I mean? Sorry, I got this on camera. Take this crinkle out of it. Put it down the hole again. Got a couple of wraps. Gotta keep it low, keep it low, keep it low, keep it low. Keep it low. All right, now we're low. Now we've got a wrap. I wish I had the drill going, but I don't have the drill set up. So we're doing it all by hand. Taking a long time to get there. I think I cut the string too long, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. I'll see if I can get this under the string key pressure. Almost there. Well, that's about as sloppy an E string as you can do. However, they're all on. The new strings are on. The new tuners are on. We did clean up the guitar a little bit. And these have the new deluxe bullet ends. See down the end here, these are little bullets. They're really meant to go through the other kind of pack feed and strap, but I don't think it matters, but they're the right size string, and they were pretty cheap on Amazon. So that's it. Let me tune it up and we'll see how it sounds. Okay, this is kind of a completion video. We got the new strings on. We got the new tuners on. Let's see what it sounds like. Got it tuned up to pitch. We're on the new amplifier, the tube amp. This is a set 5 tube amp. I like the strings. I like these strings better. The tuners work good, even though they're installed a little bit screwy, but they still work good. I like the straight in. She got everything she needs. She's honest. She don't look back. She got everything she needs. She's an artist. She don't look back. Take the dark out of the night time. Paint the daytime light. Wow. Check tuning. Let's see something here. Tune's perfect. Intonation is pretty darn close. It's not perfect, but it ain't bad. He's perfect. These strings are going to go out of tune just a little bit now because they're stretching. They're brand new. But intonation's good. Intonation is good on the Squier. It's perfect.
Pretty good.